Okay. Good evening, everyone. Hope you all are doing well. If you're watching this live and you happen to come in, great. If not, you play and it's cool. Anyway, all right. So, first off, I want to thank everyone who tuned in to the Saturday show. Uh, Again, I want to thank Merton. Uh, it was a great interview, and to be honest, I was kind of nervous because it is Mersh, and he's obviously a really good YouTuber, and I come from the world of audio podcasting initially, so I'm still relatively new to the YouTube game, but great. I think it was a great interview, and again, thanks to Mersh and Royce and the RTC family for really helping me promote my channel. Okay, so this danger interview I also did in part two of the show on Saturday, which it's gotten like 300 views and a ratio. Last time I checked, 50, it was 51 likes to like one or two dislikes. So that's pretty uh, damn good. And thank you to all of you who have supported that as well. And those of you who have also downloaded the audio tab, uh, we're at 32 for that episode. So thank you for listening because that really helps me support the show. The audio podcast is high show. So if you're not subscribed, search for the Whitfield Report on Apple Podcasts or wherever else you get your podcasts from, whether that be Spotify or Overcast. But enough about me. The reason why I'm making this video is just to clarify a few things because, well, many of you liked the video. Many of you were asking for a second part of the interview. And mark my words, there is going to be a second part. Not necessarily just with Carlos, but their ex-bears and some of the DZ guys. We're still trying to, and I can promise you that I will be more hands-on in terms of asking questions. That was the one kind of criticism I got, which is that I didn't really ask that many questions, which, to be fair, I did ask some questions. For episode was mainly just to let Carlos tell his story of what happened between him and the Bears and let him tell his own story. And he did kind of use it pointing got called out on a live stream. And so obviously he was pretty shaken up by all this initially, and he didn't want to say anything initially. I offered to give him a platform, and he didn't want to say anything at first, but then he messaged me a few weeks ago and said, "Hey, do you mind if I come on? I think I'm ready to tell my story." And I said, "Yeah." So that's what we did on Saturday night. Um, there are more parts of the story to tell. And I think by now most people also know that Owen is not in the. Uh, okay, are we back? I think we're back. Disconnected there for a sec. Long story short, there will be more to come on this whole Owen versus the DZ saga. I'll be telling more of my I got involved. But for those of you asking, like, you know, why Carlos got involved with Owen in the first place. What you have to understand is back when the Unbearables started, and this is really the point I want to drive home. Back when the Unbearables, which was right after Owen went on Joe Rogan with Kurt Metzger, I joined a week afterwards, and when I joined, the Unbearables was essentially a community of basically conservative slash libertarian people, such as myself, who wanted to find a place to create content with each other. It was basically a networking group for content creators to come together and make stuff for each other and collaborate and whatnot. It was not let's worship Owen. Yes, the face of the group, but initially it was something that we all built and that we all collaborated with. So that's what the that's what the Bears were all about in the early days. So um, once it became culty, we left, uh, and we tried to warn Owen about the Nimmer thing, and early on, and of course he didn't want to listen. Uh, and Chuck is the hero of that saga. So shout out to Chuck once again. Um, for that. Alan points out Dolev and Coddington ruined it too. Yeah, they did. Um, I never really had any Coddington. I did maybe once or twice with Dolev. Dolev was cordial to me in the beginning, and then once I started asking questions, I was blocked on Twitter and whatnot. Now, of course, I'm one of the public enemies. I'm one of the big bad DZ people. But anyway, yeah, my the Whitfield report was never to get involved in like any of this internet stuff. I mainly do like a political commentary and pop culture podcast where I talk about Trump and politics and about pop culture stuff too, comedy, what's on TV I like, which there's not much of that I like. But yeah, I'm not into much of this fair stuff. Although I have to admit, it is sometimes really fun. But yeah, the reason you know, why I'm into this whole own thing is because he screwed up with some of my friends. Carl, the rest of the DZ guys, RTC for helping me build up this audience and for coming on my show Saturday and being a so anyway, there will be more to come in the DZ saga, I promise you. So all of you who have questions for me, all will be explained, eventually. So stay tuned for more updates.